Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video, we're going to have a look at Spider-Man, the video game. And the reason that we're looking at this is because I've been looking at different arcade systems. I was looking at like the Sega System 18 the other day. I'm waiting for games like Shadow Dancer, and hopefully we'll get an implementation, an FPGA implementation of that, so we can enjoy it from MiSTer, Analogue Pockets, and any FPGA platforms that are coming in the future. So this is Spider-Man, the video game. You can pick out 4 characters: Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Black Cat, and Submariner. What's really weird on the character select screen, I don't know why Spider-Man isn't the character on the main left. The game's called Spider-Man. The other characters you find out about when you actually try the game. So I found that very, very weird. Nonetheless, Hawkeye is the first choice, then it's Spider-Man, which, yeah, definitely a little bit weird. So the Sega System 32 hardware, the main CPU in this is the NEC V60. The sound CPU is a Z80, and the sound chips are 2 Yamahas 3438s. The video resolution of this game is 320 by 224. And guys, like, this is a game, right? I never played this in the arcade. I saw this in the arcade. So there was a big arcade in central London called Trocadero. It was a massive place, had like multiple floors, and it was just full of arcade machines and different amusement things. And I remember seeing this, but this was expensive, man. I remember at the time I saw this, I really, really wanted to play it, but honestly, I had absolutely zero money on me. All I had was a travel card. A card that you could buy. It was like £1 at the time, and you could travel around all of London with it, you know, for the entirety of the day. And that's all I had. And that's what we used to do sometimes. You know, we just used to go off to central London and watch people play arcade games. I remember watching this. I remember seeing the zoom in and zoom out effects of this and thinking, wow, like, this is amazing. I would love to play it. I kind of forgot about this on emulation until someone in the comments kind of mentioned it, and I was like, you know what, I have to check this out again. I haven't checked it out for years. Now, as far as beat 'em ups go, it's okay at best. It's definitely not one of the better beat 'em ups, but what's the appeal of this? Well, the appeal of this is you get to be 4 superheroes, 4 popular superheroes out of the Marvel universe, the most popular being Spider-Man. And as you go through the game, you fight a vast amount of villains. I mean, there's a whole load in here. The main antagonists in this are Kingpin, but followed by Doctor Doom. But you've got like Venom, his symbiote clones, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Lizard, Scorpion, who I think looks particularly cool. Sandman is in there. You got Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. Yeah, there's a lot in here, and it feels very, very true to the comic. Like the game, I mean, I would love to get an FPGA implementation of this. I don't know if this can come to the MiSTer. Hopefully it can. Hopefully it can. I'm not a programmer, a developer, so I honestly don't know what the upper limits are, but I would love for this to come out on the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket. You know, even when Mars comes out in the future, if it comes out for that, I would just like an FPGA implementation of this. Now, I was playing this on MAME, and one of the things that I noticed on MAME is when you jump up, at the very peak of your jump, if you press the attack button, you kind of do like this different air attack where you kind of swing across. Spider-Man swings with his web, Submariner does a dive. So they've all got like a slightly different air attack. Now, because of the latency in MAME, you kind of have to adjust yourself to pressing it a little bit earlier than when you get to the peak of the jump. But that's the difference, or that's the major difference between playing something on MAME and playing an FPGA implementation of it. And that's why that stuff's really important. Like I always say, I'm not a snob. I had fun playing this, and I can actually adjust to lag because years and years of playing Fightcade and different fighters or different 2D games online has made me adjust to it. Now, another interesting thing about this is as well as just being a beat 'em up, the game kind of, and it looks beautiful when it does it. It kind of zooms out, so it scales out, and then it turns into like a 2D kind of side scroller platformy kind of thing. It almost in a way Ninja Gaiden by Tecmo does, like the way you've got the upper and the lower levels. But honestly, like playing the side scroller part, I wonder and think to myself, would it not be amazing just to have a side scroller version of this? Like, I would have loved that. I'm a big fan of Shinobi, I'm a big fan of Shadow Dancer, I'm a big fan of side scrollers in general, just as much as I like beat 'em ups. I probably prefer side scrollers because I feel they are more manageable and they are easier to 1cc if you have the skill to be able to do it. Beat 'em up, so I do feel certain points it's just unfair where you're just getting smashed. But all the characters have got their own special. Spider-Man whacks a web out. You've got Hawkeye that uses his signature arrow and bow. Black Cat uses a whip, and Submariner fires like some electricity. It's all really, really good. Another attack that I found in here is you've got a back attack, but you can only do it when someone's directly behind you. So you kind of attack, then you move it back and attack, and they do either like a back fist, a back kick, but a move where you can see the animation of that attack is different. Now, what I'm also interested in, guys, would you like me to do a video showcasing every game on the Sega System 32? Because there is a whole bunch of games on here. I'll read you out the list of the games that are on this system, and guys, there's a lot, and there's some heavy hitters here. We've got stuff like Air Rescue, we've got some gun games. I think Alien Free the Gun, it says the gun in there. I think that's a light gun game as well. Arabian Fight is an interesting one. It's a beat 'em up from what I remember, something that I played on emulation and I liked. We've got Burning Fight, Dark Edge, Dragon Ball Z VR Versus. Not really too familiar with that, but hey, you know, it sounds interesting nonetheless. And then moving along from that, we've got F1 exhaust notes, which has an excellent arcade machine, or you know, those kind of seated cabinets. So this is a very, very interesting system. Then we've got F1 Super Lap, and then we've got, okay, another interesting one is Golden Axe, The Revenge of Death Adder. Now, I like this version of Golden Axe. I think it's great. Golden Axe 1 will always be the favorite for me because that's the one I have nostalgia for. I'll play this one later, and it's like a beefed up version of Golden Axe. Found it very, very unforgiving and very, very difficult. I think I've got like a full playthrough on my channel where I just go, where I'll put in a lot of coins to complete it. And then we've got Holicium. Okay, again, don't know too much about it. It looks like some kind of fighting game. I don't know much about the games on this system. So if I was to do a video on that, definitely let me know in the comments, because I can go through all of them in MAME. And you know what, we can always hope that a developer takes this on board, and this is something that we get, you know, on our MiSTer, any FPGA platform, so we can really, really enjoy it. Then there's the Jurassic Park light gun game. Now that I have played, believe it or not, there's a mall down the road from me. It's called The Mall. And that mall actually has the Jurassic Park arcade game. Now, it's there, you can play it. I only played it one day after I saw a cleaner doing it, because if you go onto it now, you just get kids getting on there, and there's a very, very good chance that a kid has done doo-doo in his panties, and I don't know, there could be some kind of bodily waste there due to all the kids kind of just kind of going around there. And it reminds me of me being a kid where the parents don't put in money, but you're seeing flashing lights and stuff, and you think you're playing. So for hygiene reasons, I tend not to go and play it, but maybe I should clean it up and play it, who knows. And then we've got Looney Tunes by a Hair. Again, I know nothing of that game, and I'll be interested to check it out. Then we've got Radmobile, or Radmobile, also known as Gale Racer. Followed by, okay, Radmobile 360, which had an interesting 360 kind of arcade machine. Reminds me a little bit of the Afterburner arcade machine, if I'm not mistaken. And we've got Rad Rally, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, I'm reading this list of System 16. So some of the stuff that I'm reading, I had no idea it was out. I'm just looking at it now, and I like doing videos that way because I genuinely act surprised when I act surprised. There's a game called Slipstream. So there's a whole bunch of like new modern arcade games in here. I certainly hope these are doable on the MiSTer, and someone does it one day, someone brings it over, a talented FPGA developer. If they're not doable on the MiSTer, then I know the upcoming Mars project, everything in their roadmap, one of the things they're targeting are the newer arcade machines. So these are like mid-90s arcade machines. A lot of them are 94, 95. And then we've got a game called Surik Kokoji 2. Okay, I have no idea what that is. That's just listed there. And then Spider-Man, what this video is about. We've got Super Visual Football, also known as Super Visual Soccer, and I guess the Japanese name, the J-League 1994. And that's all the games on the system. Now, kind of going back to Spider-Man, you know, unless you've got the arcade PCB, which I imagine is very expensive for that, it just seems like one of those ones that will be a little bit more than the other ones. But it's a fun game to play. You can play it on MAME. I checked my Final Burn Neo ROM set. That's what I kind of generally seem to use. That's the ROM set I usually use for arcade games. I kind of go to MAME when I can't find a game on there. And the reason I use Final Burn Neo is because I've got it on a lot of devices. A lot of devices that aren't as powerful can do the Final Burn Neo ROM set, I find, but it's not on there. But if you're going to download one of the newer versions of MAME, it will be on there, and it's still fun. It's still fun to have. If you're used to FPGA gaming and you're used to that responsiveness, yes, you're going to lose some of that in MAME, but that just comes with software emulation in general, I find, unless there's a run-ahead feature. I think there might be a run-ahead feature in MAME. I haven't really used it. It's something that I used in RetroArch. For this video, I just used plain MAME. But I think I'm going to try this out with my kids because my kids like superheroes. They definitely like Spider-Man. I don't think they really know Submariner. I know they know Hawkeye for the Avengers movie, and I know they know Black Cat because they've been playing Spider-Man on the PS4. So this is a fun game just to kind of go through and you know, play with the kids. I imagine like the platformy bits, the side-scrolling bits will be quite interesting with 4-player. That's not something that I can remember, but guys, this is an excellent arcade game. It's an excellent arcade system. You know, if you have to play it on emulation, try it out on emulation, especially if you're like me, you've got young kids, and if you want to do some retro gaming with them, this Spider-Man game is an absolute great choice. But yeah, that's really it for this video, guys. Yeah, just wanted to have a look at this, the characters, the enemies. It's just a fantastic game. That's it. So take care of yourself. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is super appreciated. Take care of each other, guys. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.